Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. Why doesn't anyone italicize their predictions, Perna? Grammar. Pretending you know anything about this NFL season is pretty dumb. Stupid. Empty-headed, vapid, unwise, maybe? As expecting anything this year to go according to plan is like expecting a blackout drunk driver to use their turn signal 100 feet before they veer off into a tree. But even though the challenge is mighty and the exercise is semi-pointless, I'm going to give it my best shot. These bold predictions are not only bold, they are solid gold. Take it to the bank because they don't stink. They involve who's winning Rookie of the Year, who's winning MVP, which surprise team will miss the playoffs, and which one is getting in. There are predictions in this episode your futile brain can't even comprehend right now. So buckle the fuck up, up. Now, this episode was released early on Patreon and is now live for all of you here on YouTube. Patreon donors do get an exclusive video every month, maybe more, once I learn how to manage my time as a dad, and I have tons of Patreon shoutouts at the end of this episode for all of you new patrons. Whew. That's good, sports! Bold predicti numero uno. The Broncos will beat the Chiefs. And it won't be because Patrick Mahomes is on the COVID reserve list. I know that scares you, Chiefs fans, but it's happening. And it's happening in front of your 4,000 and 16,000 fans in their non-headdress wearing, polo and Wrangler flaunting butts. Also, Bradley Chubb will finish the season with more sacks than Von Miller. Bold predicti number 2. All 32 teams will play all 16 games. After watching Hard Knocks and seeing the way training camp has gone over the last couple of weeks, I'm getting more and more confident in the way teams have established their protocol and stuck to it. There hasn't been a single positive test since practices have started, or maybe there was just a couple. I'm getting confused with some of the things I read on Twitter. But either way, the amount of positive cases they've had in the NFL is more than the number of people actually watching HBO's Hard Knocks. Now, this doesn't mean that no one will test positive this season, but I think even if they do, the teams will have a plan to ensure they have reinforcements ready if it comes to that, and to catch it before it infects an entire team. Is this partly wishful thinking? Of course, I admit that, but in the end, I trust privatized sports leagues like the NFL to handle a pandemic better than our own government. Why? Because there's more urgency and profit at stake. My point is that we need to be able to trade and release elected officials and stockpile future draft picks. Bold predicti number 3. Antonio Brown will sign with a team. Assuming the news goes in his favor in the civil suit he's facing, he will return after week 8 and make the crazy team that takes a chance on his kind of crazy better. But that's not my bold prediction. My bold prediction for Antonio Brown is that his album, Himothy, wins a Grammy. Medieval folk rock never has a real chance to win a Grammy, and neither does athlete-produced music every year, which is why I implore the Grammy Association of America, GA as it's called, probably run by Lady Gaga, to add a category of Best Athlete-Produced Album or Song. Bold predicti number 4. Jerry Jeudy wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. I teased this in our podcast, but if you watched Jerry Jeudy play at Alabama, it was very apparent to everyone but the Raiders that he was the most NFL-ready wide receiver in the draft. He's a great route runner, has excellent moves after the catch, and has been beating everyone in training camp. The obvious competition for this award is going to be Joe Burrow, but I think there's a good chance that even if Burrow is good, and I think this hunky photo of him indicates he will be pretty damn good, the Bengals still aren't good enough around him for Burrow to win the award, at least defensively speaking. Henry Ruggs isn't a complete receiver yet. CeeDee Lamb won't get enough targets alongside Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, and Tua likely won't start enough games to be considered. This award will go to Judge Jeudy and the defendants Burrow, Ruggs, and Lamb will be escorted to jail by the bailiff. But next prediction, the Buccaneers do not make the playoffs, bitch. Channeling my inner Jesse Pinkman. This will be the first year that Tom Brady plays more than one quarter of football and doesn't make the playoffs, dating back to 2002, when his hairline was receding naturally and he hadn't ditched his pregnant hot wife for another hot wife. This is his first year in Tampa Bay, an unusual offseason, the first time he's had to learn a playbook since his rookie year, and it's going to show. There's also the point of his incompatibility in the Bucs offense. We all know Tom Brady is a dink and dunk passer, and this offense is about going deep and staying vertical. Last year in this offense, Jameis Winston averaged 10.4 air yards per attempt, the second most in the league. Brady, on the other hand, averaged just 7.6, which was 23rd in the league, and I don't think this is gonna work. And Florida man Tom Brady will miss the playoffs. Will that lead to his retirement? Probably not. I believe Tom Brady wants to play until he physically dies on the field in 2039 when Von Miller Jr. sacks him so hard that his artificial heart explodes in a bloody mess, which will totally be worth the wait. Another prediction, Aaron Rodgers wins his third MVP. The Packers didn't draft any playmakers for him. They drafted his replacement, who apparently can't even throw well at training camp. But Aaron Rodgers is going to be extra motivated in spite of all that, because he is that stubborn and that vindictive, and he loves to hold grudges. Does it matter that he's throwing to Devontae Adams and a bunch of nobodies? No, because that's going to build his case for the voters. Rodgers is going to get mad and light up defenses this year. He is tired of hearing that he took a step back. He might not have the best numbers of any quarterback, but the narrative is so strong and his supporting cast on offense is so weak that when he carries them to wins, it's going to earn him his first MVP trophy since 2014. And then, after that, when the Packers think Rodgers is back to his old self, he's going to tell them to go fuck themselves and request a trade to Chicago during the playoffs. Is that legal? No, but the NFL's gonna let it happen. Another prediction, the Cleveland Browns make the playoffs. Last year, the Browns were too hyped, too cocky, too much into smelling their own Brownsness, that it made perfect sense when they fell flat on their face. But it wasn't just a matter of expectations. They hired a guy who was a quarterback coach at the start of 2018 and then was elevated to head coach in 2019. That's too quick. And while Freddie Kitchens couldn't get the offense cooking, I think Kevin Stefanski and his perfect jawline will smoke defenses like a Traeger grill. Why has Traeger sponsored every sports show but mine? Nobody talks about man meat more than me. Come on, Traeger. Now the Browns added another playmaker in Austin Hooper at tight end. Kareem Hunt is available all season to kick that running game up a notch behind Nick Chubb, and Myles Garrett has been reinstated after trying to collect Mason Rudolph's brain matter for his ongoing attempts to create a dinosaur-human hybrid in his Myles Garrett Experiments lab. A lot of this comes down to Baker Mayfield, but he's got the right coach in place. Somebody's gonna bootleg him, get him outside of the pocket, a new left tackle, and was humbled last year. Honestly, just being on the Browns should be humbling enough. The Lord has blessed me enough to give me the talent to reach the NFL. But he's also keeping me in check by sending me to Cleveland. Same applies to Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. And now we come to the lightning round. Here are some assorted predictions that will also come true, but I didn't feel like expanding on each one because they can't possibly be justified by logic, evidence, or reason. So, a random Thursday night football game will go head-to-head with the NBA Finals and get better ratings. Hunter Renfrow and Henry Ruggs, for the Raiders, both have the same initials, HR. Head of HR will be Hunter Renfrow's new position with the team because they drafted Henry Ruggs, who, athletically speaking, makes Hunter Renfrow, the football player, look like Hunter Renfrow, the person. Quarterback Russell Wilson will get 2 votes for league MVP this year instead of 0. Bill O'Brien will not make any stupid trades, and David Johnson will actually make the Texans' offense better. Yes, I say that as someone who had to draft him in fantasy. Sean McDermott is caught bribing Andrew Cuomo to let the Bills bring fans into the stadium. And I don't mean with money. The Bills will also win the AFC East because they invent shadow routes for Josh Allen. What's a shadow route? Well, it's when 2 wide receivers run the exact same route 10 yards apart. That way, for every Josh Allen overthrow, there is a receiver in position 10 yards downfield to make the catch. Lamar Jackson breaks his QB rushing record, but still doesn't win a playoff game because he gets hurt and RG3 leads them to victory. That's Good Sports, not Barstool Sports, is given the naming rights to the Buffalo Bills Stadium. And I am very serious about this. Big Dick Field at Bills Mafia Stadium 2020. Derrick Henry rushes for 1,999 yards and sets the record for most stiff arms in a season. That's when you know a prediction is accurate. All of the Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers stay healthy, but Carson Wentz gets hurt again. And Jalen Hurts is in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I actually wrote this prediction before Wentz got banged up at practice, by the way. Kirk Cousins wins every single primetime game and posts a quarterback rating of over 120 in each of those victories, but loses all of the daytime games. And he does not die, even though he does not care if he does die. Cam Newton, not Big Ben, not Gronk, and not Alex Smith, wins Comeback Player of the Year. But that's the only thing the Patriots win after December. People start talking about Gardner Minshew because he's actually good at football, and not because even heterosexual men want to boink him. The Dallas Cowboys finish with the #1 offense in the NFL and miss the playoffs. Oh wait, that's what actually happened last year. I think they got even better on offense by adding CeeDee Lamb, so they can definitely do this again. And they shaved off about 30 years of the average age of their roster by parting ways with Jason Witten. Offensive coordinators around the league still cover their mouth with their play sheet to prevent lip reading, even though they're all wearing masks. Except, of course, for Matt Patricia, who will still try and eat his play sheet, which he constantly confuses with the dinner menu. Yes, he's always that hungry. Sam Darnold misses 6 weeks of football after contracting rubella and becomes the world's most influential figure, spreading the word on the importance of vaccinating your children. Atlanta Falcons guard Chris Lindstrom suffers a minor injury in Week 5 and is forced to miss 1 game. Sorry, Hotlanta, but sometimes I have to get very specific with my predictions to terrify people into watching my show every day. The good news here is that Matt Ryan will also finish the season with better statistical numbers than Tom Brady and Drew Brees, and Todd Gurley will lead the division in rushing. Cool motocross dad Kyle Shanahan dirt bikes up and down the sidelines during games to get a better view of the defense, but then struggles to call in the correct play because he's on an old 2-stroke and is constantly having to rev the engine to keep it from dying. Motorcycles, I know stuff about them. And the most boldest prediction of all, Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers, while mic'd up, is caught saying a curse word, as he is absolutely shocked what it feels like to hear a home crowd cheer for him throwing a touchdown. His exact quote, "Gee golly, shit's electric here in Indy, oops." And those are my very bold predictions for the 2020 NFL season. Either they will come true, and I will be praised for my incredible foresight, or we will pretend this video never happened. Regardless, I'm coming out on top. So thank you for all of your Patreon donations. I will keep making exclusive, or at the very least early videos like this one to make it worth your while. I do have your big dick Patreon shout-outs for Kurt Crew Fantasy Football Podcast, Zebra Manthong with an annual subscription, The Mexologist upping to $10, Zach Reeves, Florida Restaurant Safety Team sent, then it cuts off, sorry, Lewis Reamer, UWU, can I nuzzy wuzzy your necky wecky, UWU. Mark Atnip, Brandon Perna gets a plate at the barbecue. Patrick Jackson, Perna's Tumescent Thunderchode caused a regional eclipse doing an annual donation, thank you. The Wolfpack, said it right this time, upping to $21.50. Alex Gibson, my name is not Seth Ferguson. Lord of Bunnies at $50 damn per month. Ferdin Schwanz Cholos. And Blue Ridge Mountain Plumbing, the best plumbing in Central Virginia at $160, helping put my new daughter through college. Thank you guys for your donations. I'm on patreon.com/ThatsGoodSports if you want to support this channel. Thank you for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm going to be a little bit erratic probably with videos in September with that new kid, but I will be here for you, damn it. I am like herpes. Even when you think I'm gone, I'm still here. Oh yeah, and I'm ready to flare up in your YouTube feed.